Kasi hindi na ano
This
nalagay sa
call is now being recorded.
All right, again, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my class. And again, we are still in animal science. Specifically, we are slaughtering, processing, and marketing of farm animals. We already discussed the part one of this, and hopefully, you already watch it. Now, tonight we'll have our second, my part two of slaughtering, processing, and marketing of farm animals. And if you want to know more about this, especially the lectures, you can check on the slide. Sorry, on the manual that I provided to you before. So please, kindly check your manual and also um, sa manual kasi makita natin na now we are still under iTrack. Okay? Kasi nga, di ba nga, yun ang guide na na gagamitin natin. As what I have said, no, dun nagpa-follow si sir ng gagawin. Okay? Dun nagpa-follow si sir ng gagawin. Hold on. So, those are updated manual. Uh, okay. So, by the way, before we proceed to our class discussion, everyone, hopefully you guys are doing well. You know na, pag feeling niyo po na medyo mabigat na unwind po kayo, ha? Wala ba po masamang mag-unwind? Mas maganda po yung nag-unwind kayo. At least sa isang linggo, isang beses, ganun. Para po hindi kayo ma-suffocate sa mga discussion natin. Okay, hopefully this week matapos na natin itong slaughtering, processing, and marketing of farm animals. Para next week, we can already proceed to production management and then economics na tayo. Okay? So, yun ang target naman ni Sir. For production and management naman, um, I'll see to it na natin, matapos natin isa sa isang araw, isang animal, ganon. Example, swine, isang gabi talaga yan, tapusin natin yan. Tapos next night na naman, iba-iba natin para, kahit umabot tayo ng mga 3 hours, siguro okay lang man sa inyo yun, no? Di ba? 3 hours. Okay lang yun sa inyo. Kahit umabot tayo ng mga 3 to 4 hours. Kasi guys, maganda kasi ayoko kasi kinakat-cut siya. Kasi pag, example, let's say, sa production and management tayo, meron tayong swine, meron tayong poultry, meron tayong cattle or cow or cattle, meron tayong goat production, meron din tayong equine. So, 5 yan sila. So, yung 5 yan, sa kailangan araw-araw natin yan i-discuss. So, paano natin gagawin yan? Of course, wanna make sure na hindi siya makat. Let's say, example, swine ngayong gabi, bukas dapat hindi na siya swine, dapat matapos na natin siya ngayong gabi. That's why I'm encouraging everyone, kung okay lang ba sa inyo na magkakaroon tayo na 2 to 3 hours na classes just to finish yung swine, yung per topic na yan. Kasi nga, we are hinahabol natin yung panahon, yung oras pala, yung oras. So if we can start naman at around as early as possible, that's better. Right? Kasi I'm also thinking of mas maganda yung oo. Mas maganda na early tayo. Siguro by next week, basta matapos itong slaughtering, processing and marketing of farm animals, we'll proceed to early classes for next week. Okay lang po yung hindi makaabot kasi recorded naman po ang klase. Okay? As long as recorded naman kasi yung klase. So, it's very important kasi yung production and management, 50 items po yun sa board examination. So, that's why mas maganda siya na i-feed sa inyo na fresh. Okay? I-feed sa inyo na fresh. Tapos pagdating sa post-test, pagdating sa Saturday, post-test na talaga yun. Purely post-test tayo doon. Okay? Hindi siya magka-cut-cut. So, I'll make sure also in my end na magawa ko siya na walang kahirap-hirap. Paano ba yun? Mahirapan din man ako. Pero, hindi ako makaka-encounter ng mga troubleshooting, ganun. Technicalities. And I'll make sure my schedule for next week is para lang talaga sa inyo. Okay? So, nakita ko yung pagkain dito sa slide. Parang nagutom tuloy ako. Masarap kasi yung ham eh. Alright. So again, welcome to my class and we are now slaughtering, processing, marketing of farm animals part 2. And to those who did not watch yet, yung ating part 1, you can go back and check your group chat. Sa group chat po natin, meron doon yung mga links. So you can check the links, and then also do not share the links again, ha, because it's not a public one. Only the enrolled students can watch it. Okay? And also this video, I'll be pagkatapos nito, I will upload this one on sa page para po ano lang, sample lang natin sa iba. At least that na makita nila and they are updated na, okay, nagkaklase pala ang Agricola. Agricola is not just in a word, charot. Also sa action din. Okay? So, we are doing our best to provide you better and quality review session. Okay? Now, again, paulit-ulit si Surgeon nandito. So, again, our discussion is slaughtering animals. Hold on, wala palang pen. Okay. Okay, so we are still in slaughtering animals. And again, ito na po yung pag-uusapan natin. The most, let's say, technical part and sensitive part of slaughtering animals, uh, slaughtering, processing, and marketing animals is this one. Kasi parang, for me lang, it's a flesh one. This is the flesh. Kasi nga, this is the principles that you need to know. And you need to focus on this. Okay? Please focus kayo dito kasi malito kayo pag hindi kayo makinig masyado. Okay? Okay, now, we have antemortem. Antemortem inspection. It means that it's determining whether an animal is fit for slaughter or not. Healthy animals are passed for slaughter, while individuals found beyond doubt to yield unwholesome meat, such as those with communicable diseases, are condemned. Those which are newly parturited, vaccinated, administered administered with antibiotics, and other treatments are rejected for slaughter, while those suffering from abnormalities and defects but not have been identified are adjudged suspects. These are subjected to thorough inspection and normally referred to the provincial city veterinarian. Okay, there are broad definition of antemortem inspection, especially its purpose. But in this slide, I'll give you three. This one are very important. Okay, because this one will come out sa board examination. Though it's paragraph form, but in the board examination, it'll give you a lot of ano yung tawag, parang magda-doubt kayo kung yan bang sagot o hindi. Okay, so you need to follow, you need to listen carefully. Okay, when you talk about antemortem inspection, in slaughtering animals po kasi, there are all species follow the same basic principles in slaughtering. First, yung antemortem inspection, followed by stunning, sticking or bleeding, cleaning. So sa cleaning, kasama na dyan yung flaying, scalding, singeing, evisceration, pang-limang stage, evisceration, followed by splitting and washing. And then after ng splitting and washing, post-mortem inspection, and then shrouding, chilling, and aging. These are the 8 stages that you need to know. In order, dapat siya malaman. Organizational talaga siya. Okay? So ito yung mga steps, kumbaga pa, steps to ensure humane, killing, safe meat, at saka high quality products. What's the first one? Antemortem inspection, followed by stunning, sticking or bleeding, followed by cleaning. Ano na yung mga nasa cleaning? Flaying, scalding, singeing. And then number 5 steps is evisceration. Number 6 steps is splitting and washing. Number 7 is post-mortem inspection. Number 8 is shrouding, chilling, and aging. Do not worry kasi nga I'll discuss it one by one. So, but first step that we're going to discuss is antemortem inspection. Okay? Antemortem inspection, it is the inspection of animals before slaughter. Bago mo siya katayin, magkakaroon muna tayo ng inspection. So that's why it calls antemortem inspection. Before, pag sabing before slaughter. Okay? So it ensures also that animals are healthy and safe for human consumption. And animals that are sick, recently medicated, or abnormal, they are actually condemned. Okay? They are condemned, hindi na po sila kinakatay, and they are referred po sa vets. So the vets will fix it. I mean, hindi naman fix siguro. Let's say they are going to make, of course, technicalities sa kalang expertise nila, and then para kung pwede ba siyang katayin o hindi. Okay, what's the purpose why we have antemortem inspection? The purpose that we have a antemortem inspection is, I mean, are prevent diseases. So we need to prevent diseases. Nung malay ba natin yung kinatay natin pala, meron palang sakit. Tapos yun na, nag-spread out na yung diseases, pinakain sa ano, yun. So we should prevent diseases. Number two, residue. That's the, of course, we need also to know na hindi tayo nag-waste, no? Ng mga kinakatay natin, no? Nagagamit natin na, I mean, na, um, nako-consume ng tama. And also, we have contamination in meat. So, number three is we have contamination in meat. We assure na our meat is not contaminated. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and explain each of the definition. Antemortem inspection is determining whether an animal is fit for slaughter or not. So, the reason why we have antemortem also is to inspect kung pwede ba siyang katayin or hindi. Kung healthy ba siya or hindi. Yung mga healthy animals are passed for slaughter. Pinapakatay yung mga healthy animals. While individuals found beyond doubt, pag sinabi mong beyond doubt, ibig sabihin meron po siyang 50-50 or meron siyang negative feedback, ganon, galing sa inspector, to yield unwholesome meat, ibig sabihin na possible na yung klaseng animal na yan ay hindi siya makakabigay ng magandang meat, no? Such as those with communicable diseases are condemned. Let's say, if yung hayop mo, let's say yung saume is yung merong ASF, are going to slaughter it? No, kasi nga merong ASF yun. So that's what we call beyond doubt. Okay? There were found beyond doubt. So ibig sabihin, yung meat na yan na hindi siya pwedeng kainin or hindi siya pwedeng consume ng tao, kahit sino pa, kasi nga yan klaseng hayop na yan ay meron siyang communicable diseases. Naintindihan? So that's why we have antemortem inspection. Number two, definition. Those are newly parturited, yung mga bagong panganak, vaccinated, administered po ng antibiotics, bagong inject ng antibiotics, and other treatments are rejected for slaughter. This one, please take note of this. Ibig sabihin po yung mga bagong panganak, bagong vaccine, bagong pagkalagay mo lang na antibiotic ay pinagbabawal na i-slaughter. Bakit? Possible po yun na pwede tayo matoxic kasi nga fresh pa yung antibiotic na tinatak or in-inject doon sa isang hayop. While those suffering from abnormalities and defects but not have been identified are adjudged suspects. So what do you mean by this? While those suffering from abnormalities, what are those abnormalities? No, possible na mayroong ricket, may mga ganun, no? Osteomalacia, stargazing, whatever. So those abnormalities and defects, no? Some of them naman actually, meron ako nakita na mga abnormalities na they still slaughter it. They still slaughter it. But in this scenario, in this situation, those suffering from abnormalities and defects but not have been identified are adjudged suspects, meaning okay naman, abnormal siya, pero wala siyang, hindi siya suspect for communicable diseases but can still be slaughtered. Pero yung mga suspect for communicable diseases, they are not allowed to slaughter. Okay? So yun lang. And then number 3 definition of antemortem inspection is that these are subjected to thorough inspection, meaning kailangan talaga i-inspect yan ng mga meat inspector before i-slaughter or livestock inspector. Through inspection and normally referred to the provincial or city veterinarian. So that's why we have veterinary quarantine services. We have city veterinarian, municipal veterinarian. Those are agencies that are effective when it comes to the functions of inspection. Naintindihan? So you need to know these things. Antemortem ibig sabihin before slaughter. Sa board exam, meron mga ganitong questions. Don't worry. I will give you a lot of questions regarding on this matter. Kasi nga, yung slaughtering are very interesting. Pagdating sa board exam, it will give you a high points. Okay? Next. Alright. Next, we have second step. Yung first step natin is antemortem inspection, right? So, in antemortem inspection, meaning pag sinabi mong yung anti mo, pag sinabing anti, before yan. Ibig sabihin yan, ha? Yan na lang, isipin ninyo. Anti, before, mortem, death. Always remember that. Mortem is death. Ibig sabihin, before siya katayin or before siya patayin. Before death. Anti-mortem. Okay? Inspection of the live before of the live animal before slaughter. So what's the purpose again? The purpose is to check if the animal is healthy, free from diseases, and also safe for human consumption. If sick or unsafe animal is what? Condemned or held for further veterinary check. Sa board exam, tinatanong kayo. Tatanungin kayo sa board exam yan kung what you're going to do if the animals is unhealthy. Are you going to have antemortem? Are you going to have slaughter pa ba ninyo? Dadaan pa ba ninyo sa antemortem inspection? Or are you going to condemn it? May mga ganon. There are questions regarding on that matter. But don't worry, that's part of your post test for this week. Okay? Next step, second step is the stunning. Stunning, hindi ibig sabihin stunning yung you're so pretty, pretty girl. Ganon. Hindi ganon, ha? Stunning, meaning S-T-U-N-N-I-N-G, it is making animals unconscious. But not killing them. Not yet killing, ha? Unconscious pa lang. Yung parang pinapahilo-hilo mo pa lang sa ganon. Yung alam mo na yung gagawin mo, bago mo aatakihin, kailangan mo muna painitin. Yung mga ganon, that's stunning. Okay? Relate tuloy yung iba. Okay. So, it is done to make restraining easy. To make restraining easy and also slaughtering humane. So, para hindi kayo kilatisin daw muna. Kikilatisin muna, no? So, papainitin muna para wag mo na masyadong excited. Gano'n. So, para hindi po kayo mahirapan mag-ano sa kanya, katayin siya, gano'n. So, kailangan unconscious muna yung animal. So, it may be done by using stunning gun. Or you know what stunning gun? I-search nyo lang sa Google. Stunning gun or cartridge pistol. Pwede yun gamitin. Electric stunner, sledgehammer, carbon dioxide chamber, yung parang sa loob po siya ng isang room, tapos close po talaga yung room, inalagay doon, especially mga cattle, doon ginagawa nila carbon dioxide chamber yon. So, pinapamo ng carbon dioxide para hindi po sila makamoy ng oxygen hanggang po mamatay sila yon. Or the matador technique. Okay, the matador technique. Yung parang yun ang ginagamit natin ngayon. Matador yung knife. Matador technique ang tawag doon. Yung sa knife ba? Matador technique yun, which is commonly used in stunning cattle and carabao. Again, sa stunning ha, laging ginagamit yan, common ginagamit sa cattle at carabao. Wala pa ako nakitang nagsastunning, may stunning na bang Matador technique siguro, yung lang, pag yung sa knife, matador technique. Pero yung stunning ng sledgehammer, carbon dioxide hammer, at chamber, electric stunner, sa talaga yan sila? Sa cattle and carabao kasi malalaki yun sila. Yun. So, stunning, okay? So, when you talk about stunning also, it is a method of making animals unconscious pero not killing before slaughter. Ini-ensure natin the human handling and safety for workers. Yun na yung mga methods, stunning gun, electric stunner, carbon dioxide chamber, sledgehammer, or matador technique. So, it also prevents stress that can lower the meat quality. Ang importante doon is hindi mo mapapastress yung hayop, no? Hindi mo siya mapapastress, tsaka hindi mag-lower yung kanyang quality. Okay? So, next is, we're here. And, again, as what I said, that stunning, it's making the animal unconscious but not dead before slaughter. In-ensure natin na human killing siya, it's also reduces stress and makes handling safer. Okay? Naintindihan na. Okay, next step number 3 is sticking. Okay? Sticking, animals must be stuck within 3 minutes after stunning. Ano yung stuck? Stuck on you to the feeling down in my soul that I just can't do. Isn't on my way. Stuck on you pala yun, kanta. Sticking, animals must be stuck within 3 minutes after stunning. If its sticking is done later, the animal may regain consciousness or die. If too much time lapses from stunning or sticking, the animal develops high blood pressure and as consequence, some of the blood vessels may break to cause bloody condition of meat. Carcasses must be bled by cutting the jugular vein or carotid artery. Instead, instant death must be avoided so complete bleeding is affected. Thorough bleeding is affected in 3 to 5 minutes in properly stacked animals. What do you mean by sticking? Sticking or stacking? That is what we call bleeding. Uh-uh. Menstruation ba? Hindi. Di ba nga, kinakatay na natin? Oh. So, before or, pinaperform dapat natin sila within 3 minutes after stunning. So, stunning natin siya, gina-unconscious natin, di ba? Yung baboy nga, di ba? Inaano mo natin siya, nilalagay natin, tinatali natin, iyak-iyak ng baboy. Ganun. Tapos, pag mag-iyak na yung baboy, ang tawag doon ay stunning kasi nga, pinapa-unconscious natin yung baboy. Ganun ang baboy. Tapos pag naano na, after 3 minutes noon, sabi ko nga sa kanya, within 3 minutes dapat mapano yan ha. After ng stunning, within 3 minutes, kailangan ma-stick nyo na yan, ma-bleed niya. So, pinatay na nila. Yon. So, again, within 3 minutes after the ek ng baboy, after ng stunning, dapat katayin na. Okay? Oo, pinadugo. Oh, si Sir Jeff, ang dami niyang nalalaman ng mga terminologies na hindi natin alam. Those are fresh. Fresh from the farm. Okay. So again, guys, I just want to inform everyone na pagdating sa sticking or bleeding, blood is removed by cutting jugular vein or carotid artery. Dinanong ito sa board exam. Pag magsisticking ba daw, pag magbi-bleeding, ano ang kinakat? Jugular vein or carotid artery? Ano yung kinakat ulit? Jugular vein or carotid artery? Ano meron sa jugular vein? Andiyan yung sa jugular vein, yan ay daanan ng what's the jugular vein? Daanan ba yan ng hangin or daanan ng tawag doon, nakalimutan ko na sa term. Deoxygenated blood. Ano yung jugular vein? Pinag-usapan na natin yan sa sa physiology. Ano yan, ang jugular vein? Saan sila located? Itong jugular vein at saka carotid sa neck. Right? Both sides of the neck. Ang tanong, bakit kinakat si jugular vein? Kasi siya ang nagdadala ng deoxygenated blood from the head, face, at saka neck, pabalik sa puso. Ibig sabihin, galing sa utak, papunta sa puso. Kaya nga si jugular vein kinakat natin para magkawala ng communication from head to the heart. Jugular vein. Okay? So sa slaughtering, bakit kinakat natin yung jugular vein? Para it allows the blood to drain quickly out of the animal's body. Okay? Ano naman yung carotid artery? Yung carotid artery, yan ay large artery na also located po yan both sides of the neck. Sa both sides ha, hindi lang jugular vein. Ano yung function ng carotid artery? It carries oxygenated blood. So si jugular vein, laging tinandaan pag vein, they are carrying the oxygenated blood. Pag carotid artery, they are carrying oxygenated blood. Saan galing ang oxygenated blood? Galing sa heart, papunta sa brain. O, di ba? Kung si jugular vein galing sa brain, papunta sa heart, ganyan. Ito naman si carotid, galing sa heart, papunta sa brain. O, di ba? So, why we are cutting the artery or the carotid artery? Because it causes kasi rapid blood loss and also unconsciousness to ensure a human death na hindi siya mamatay na illegal. Naintindihan? That's why we are cutting the jugular vein and also the carotid artery. Sinabi ko na yan dun sa sa physiology. Okay? Naintindihan? That's why we are doing the sticking or bleeding or cutting or removing blood is removed. Nire-remove natin yung blood by cutting the jugular vein or carotid artery after stunning. Okay? So, the proper bleeding, it prevents also bloody meat and also improves preservation. Dapat, di ba nga, pag nagkakatay tayo, especially yung manok, uy, dapat patuloyin pa talaga, meron pa talagang dugo, meron pa talagang dugo, at dugo kasi hindi pwedeng may maiwan. Kasi pag meron po siya maiwan, magiging madugo yung meat. Bloody yung meat. Okay? So, yung bleeding, it usually lasts 3 to 5 minutes. Okay? Itong bleeding, thorough bleeding is affected 3 to 5 minutes. So, 3 to 5 minutes, mangyayari na magkakaroon ng bleeding pag, yun na, kinatay mo na. Okay? What do you mean halal? Sa ano? Sa mga Islam? Yun ba yung ano? Okay. They have methods or ways to katay yung 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 hayop. Oo, iba po yung iba po ng kaunti lang, siguro little process lang kapag halal slaughtering. Kasi nga religious yon or ethical guidelines nila na sinusunod nila. Pero halos kapareho din naman yung principles nila tsaka yung human slaughtering nila. In a humane slaughtering. Sa halal slaughtering kasi, in Islamic way of slaughter, meron silang invocation of God's name, di ba? Bago nila kinakatay, dapat banggitin ng Muslim slaughterman ang yung Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Meron bang Muslim dito? Do we have Muslim here? Correct me if I'm wrong. Meron ba tayong Muslim dito? Si Eda Lakim, parang Muslim ba yan? So, Muslim na rin dito. Si Noralia. Tama na no? Yes, tama. Sabi mo ako. Yun, binabasa yan, di ba? Di ba? Bago kinakatay, dapat banggitin muna ng Muslim slaughterman yung Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Ang ibig sabihin po nun, in the name of Allah, Allah is the greatest. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Yun ang invocation. Yun ang unang ginagawa. Sige, nyo na lang, ilista nyo na lang. Sa halal slaughter, ang ginagawa nila ay invocation of God's name. Yun po yung tinatawag na Bismillah Allahu Akbar. In the name of Allah, Allah is the greatest. So, ito ay tanda po yan ng pagpapasalamat or paggalang sa buhay ba na kinukuha. Ginagalang nila yun. Kaya nga kinakatay nila. So, before sa pagkatay, offer mo lang. Then next, we have yung animal welfare. Of course, yes, tama. Hindi siya halal pag hindi nabanggit. Tama, perfect. So, yun ang pinaka-importante doon. Kasi nga, parang ino-offer kasi yun, no? Parang ino-offer, gano'n. So, next step na ginagawa ng halal slaughtering is animal welfare. So, ang hayop po kasi ay dapat malusog, maayos ang kalagayan. The same lang din, no, sa slaughtering animals sa Christians, no? At hindi po siya stress bago katayin. So, hindi dapat makita ng ibang hayop ang pagkatay para po maiwasan yung pagtakot ng mga hayop. So, dapat, pag kinakatay, siya lang talaga nang nakikita doon. Hindi makita ng ibang hayop. Tindihan? Yon. So, pangatlong ginagawa nila ay stunning. So, yun ay optional, depende sa saang lugar. Ibang bansa kasi, ibang way ng pagsastan, right? Sa ilang Muslim countries kasi, hindi pinapayagan ang stunning. Yung pagpapamani or unconscious. Bawal yun sa kanila. Sa ibang lugar, sa ibang Muslim countries, bawal po yung unconsciousness. Or bawal po yung tinatawag na pagsastunning. Pero sa iba, like sa Pilipinas, okay naman, ginagawa naman nila. Yung iba. Kasi dapat po buhay at may yung tibok ba, ang puso ba? Tumitibok ang puso, ang hayop habang dinudugo siya. Yun. Ganun yung ginagawa nila. Pero yung iba hindi, kina-conscious and unconscious naman nila. Pero sa ibang lugar, halimbawa po ng Europe, Australia, pinapayagan po yung reversible stunning. Basta hindi po siya pinapatay ang hayop bago pag-ihaw. Yes, halal way. Goods 'yun. Kaya nga 'di ba, hindi sila agad, alam niyo ba, there are some Muslims. I have a lot of Muslim friends. Oo, lagi kaming maingay talaga kami sa ano, pag nagkikita kami. Hindi kami basta kaya nga minsan pag kumakain kami ng lunch, tinatanong ko talaga kung tinatanong ko talaga sila kung ano, kung pag sinabi pong halal is paano ba siya explain? Ano po siya, yung process po, yun nga sinabi ko, invocation of God's name, parang Islamic way po siya of slaughter na parang ino-offer, papasalamatan muna nila or paggalang nila sa buhay na kinukuha nila. So bago nila kinakatay, banggitin muna nila yung Muslim slaughter. Ng Muslim slaughter man, yung Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. So bago nila ikatayin. So that's halal. Yun, halal. Ibig sabihin, papasasalamat muna bago mo siya katayin. Yun. Kaya siya tinawag na halal. So, oo. Kaya siya tinawag na halal. Hindi ibig sabihin na sinabi halal na walang pork. Hindi ganon. Usually meron naman, mali yung ano naman eh. Mali naman. Pero sa bagay, wala namang pork pag halal. Kasi Muslim nga sila, di ba? Pag sinabing halal, ibig sabihin yung process na ginagawa nila is halal. Especially in slaughtering animals. Yun. Lumabas pala. Okay. Very good because you asked that. Thank you very much. Okay, paano ba kinakat? Paano ba kinakat ng halal processing yung gano'n? Ang hiwa ay dapat gawin gamit ang matulis na kutsilyo. Matulis talaga. Nakita ko talaga yan, sobrang tulis talaga. Oo. Isang mabilis na galaw lang, patay agad. Yung gano'n. So, dapat tamaan yung jugular veins. Meron yan silang term na hindi siya pwedeng balikan. Parang isang isang ganun mo lang, dapat patay na siya. Oo, meron ganyan. Meron silang ganon na way. May mga ganyan na mas. So, dapat tamaan agad yung jugular veins, yung carotid arteries, tsaka yung windpipe, yung trachea. Oo. Pero hindi pwede putulin yung spinal cord, of course. Ang kinakat lang, jugular veins, carotid arteries, tsaka yung windpipe or yung trachea. Kasi nga, dahil dito po yung pagkakating, tuloy-tuloy ang tibok ng puso at saka mabilis po ang pagdaloy or paglabas ng dugo. Oo, yun. Naintindihan? So, pag complete bleeding, isa sa pinaka-importante po kasi ng principles or prinsipyo, ng halal slaughter ay yung pagsasalin po or pagpapalabas ng halos lahat ng dugo. Dahil po kasi ang dugo sa kanila ay haram. Bawal kainin sa Islam. Tama? Tama ako, di ba? How did I know this? Because of my friends. I have a lot of friends na puro Muslim. We are surrounded by Muslims. Oo. Yes, bawal ang pinikpikan. Tama. Ano kumakain? What do you mean kumakain? Well, we'll go ahead and proceed to the next step na. So, yeah, thank you very much yung sa tanong na very good yun kasi binigyan niyo ako ng idea. I mean, hindi na sa binigyan ng idea. Ito kasi yung hindi ko na-include sa slides. So, better yun na nagtanong about halal. Ayun. So, again, magkaiba yung way ng halal ha. Kumakain ng alin? Ng blood? Ng bleeding? Hindi ko alam yan talaga, Britzel. But, again, bawal yun. Haram kasi yun eh. That's haram for them. Pinagbabawal sa Islam yun. Okay. Next, we are done with the stunning. We are done with the sticking or bleeding. Bleeding usually lasts 3 to 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and proceed to cleaning of the carcasses. So, in the cleaning of carcasses, there are 3 way of cleaning. So, vary within species ang cleaning of carcasses. There are 3 distinct methods of cleaning for carcasses. So, these are flaying, scalding, and singeing. Flaying is removing the hide. This is commonly done in carabaos, cattle, horses, and goats. It is synonymous to skinning. Yun na nga sinabi ko sa inyo yung flaying ay para lang yan sa mga cattle, carabao, goats, horses. Kasi nga, tinatanggalan natin ng skin or hide ang isang animals. Equivalent po ang flaying sa skinning. Tinatanggalan natin ng balat. Try mo kaya tanggalan ng balat yung asawa mo. Pag magselos ka, pag may babae, tanggalan mo lang balat yan, te. Oo. Meron ako niyang kilala when I was in Manila. Galit na galit talaga siya sa sawa. Tanggalan talaga kita ng balat. I-skinning talaga kita. Oo, kasi agriculturist man yun siya. Playing daw. Yung asawa niya is agriculturist din. Tawang-tawa kami kasi yung mga terms lumalabas sa bunganga niya. Sabi ko, naalala mo pala yun, Besh? Oo, talagang playing ko yan. Tingnan mo, babalatan niya na yung asawa niya. So, it is important po kasi to prevent contamination and also prepare carcass for processing. One of my experience is yung pag-flaying sa goat. Pag-flaying sa goat. That's one of my experience. Alam nyo ba, pag once, hindi ko alam kung alam nyo na. Kung makaalam nyo na ba. Alam nyo ba guys, na pag once kasi na mag-flaying ka sa sa goat, correct me if I'm wrong ha, pag mag-flaying ka sa goat, be sure na hindi mo siya masusugatan yung laman. Only the skin. Why? Pag nasugatan mo yung laman. Kasi pag nasugatan mo yung laman, babaho siya. Na parang angsu. You know what's angsu? Yung pag baho ihi. Yung balabang, yung sa ihi ba, yung mabaho ba yung yung ganon. Parang ganon yung baho niya. Malangsa siya. Ganon yung langsa niya. Tama ba ako? Sa mga Muslim, tama ba ako? Right? O, anghit. Tama, anghit. Ano ba yan? Angsu kasi sa anghit. Oo, mapanghi siya. Very good. Mapanghi siya, guys. So, pag tinanggalan mo siya, ina-hide mo, siniskinning mo siya, inahinay, be sure na hindi mo natatamaan yung laman. Hindi mo na susugatan yung laman. Kasi pag once nasugatan mo yung laman, mapanghi siya. Oo. Na-try ko na yan. Kaya nga naanak ko yun. Na-try ko na siya kasi nga mahilig ako sa papaitan. Sa pagpapaitan talaga. Super. Yun. Kasi pati yung tiyula manok ba yun? Alam mo, hindi yung isa. Yung manok yung maitim. Oo. Yung maitim na masarap yun, yung parang sabaw. Yun ang pinakamasarap sa Muslim na So, I don't know sa iba kung na-experience na ba sa ibang Muslims yan. But that's how they are doing it. Kasi nga, gusto ko rin maranasan. Iba kasi ako meron akong curiosity. Para matanggal yung anxiety. Ganun si sir. Napaka-ano ko paka-arte ko. Yun. So that's how you're going to do, that's how we do the playing, okay? Hindi yung playing na naglalaro playing, iba yun. Iba yun. Playing po yun, naglalaro. Okay? Okay, next in the cleaning is what we call scalding. It's submerging the carcass in hot water to loosen the hairs and scarf. Scalding is necessarily followed by scraping. Okay, so when you talk about scalding is a carcass, dinidip natin siya sa hot water. Ilang degree? Temperature of scalding water must be controlled at 130 to 180 degree Fahrenheit. Take note of this, okay? 130 to 180 degree Fahrenheit. Sinasubmerge natin siya sa water, hot water. Too hot scalding water causes settling of the hairs, while temperature of 130 degree Fahrenheit cannot affect the hairs and scarf. All slaughter animals may be scalded. However, it is not practical for a large animal such as mature horses, carabaos, cattle. Hindi po sila pwedeng i-scalding. Sige nga, scalding mo nga, try mo daw nga, Britzel. Scalding mo daw yung carabao cattle. Bukas ka pa matatapos. Mapapagod ka na lang. Oo. Tsaka hindi po pwedeng sobrang init. Kasi pag sobrang init po, hindi na ang hair, hindi na ang scarf ang natatanggal. Alam nyo ano natatanggal? Yung laman. Niluluto mo na yung karne. Yon. So only hogs and poultry are nearly always scalded. Always remember that Ang in-scald lang ay poultry and animals, but not practical sa mga large ruminants, only in hogs and also poultry. Again, scalding is followed by scraping. Okay? Always remember, correct temperature is very crucial, very important. Because too hot is equals to hair sticks. Too low is also ineffective. Again, pag sobrang init, no, hindi na yan matatanggal yung hair sticks. I mean, yung hair tsaka scarf. Yung scarf, matatanggal na lang ang maano pa diyan, maluto na lang yung laman at tsaka taba. Yun. So, dapat sakto-sakto lang yung init. Yung kaya mo lang din ano yan. Para lang matanggal yung hair. Naintindihan? After scalding, what is the next one? Scraping. Okay? Okay, next, another cleaning of carcasses is the singering. So we are done for flaying, scalding, and also singering. Singering is a method of cleaning carcasses. It's burning the hairs and scraping or scarping the hairs as soon as these are burned. This is commonly done in goats. The carcass leaned with this method has a unique flavor and highly suited for preparation of kilawin. Sobrang sarap nito, be. Oo. Yan, one of my favorite. Papaitan, kilawin. Sarap, kare-kare. Sarap, sobra. One of my coworkers, sobrang sarap niya magluto. As in, ang bango. Like, basta ba, gutom tuloy ako. Gusto ko tuloy kumain ng kilawin. Alright, so, singering carcasses can be accomplished by blowtorch. Yung torch ha, blowtorch. Meron yung ginagamit ng blowtorch and blowtorch and then or by burning wood or even old newspaper and or rice straw ginagawa sila unang panahon. Yan. That's what we call singering, burning. Okay? Ginagawa din ba natin yan sa manok? Ginagawa ba din natin yan sa manok? Gusto mo pa rin yun, Jeff? Favorite ko yun. Sarap yun. Dahil yung first time ko talaga pagkain, sobrang sarap. Yun ang unang naubos. Guys, ginagawa ba din natin ang singering sa manok? Tanong ko lang. Do we use singering sa manok? Sino kumakatay ng manok dito? Do we use that? Yes. Yes, very good. Yes, ginagamit din natin ang singering sa manok, lalo na pag naiinis na tayo magtanggal ng hair. Anong ginagawa natin? Hanap tayo ng baga. Yung baga ba yung yung apoy? Tapos sinusugban natin. Oo. Para matanggal yung hair. Di ba? Ganun yung ginagawa natin. Especially pag ang kinakatay natin ay native chicken. Native chicken. Right? Pag native chicken, sa native chicken ginagawa. Usually kasi pag ginagawa natin yung mga singering, pag native chicken yung pag 45 days matanggal lang man siya. Pag crocodile, ewan ko, Britzel, bakit ka pa nag-agriculture? Crocodile. So, ayun na, that's singering. So, what are the 3 cleaning of the carcasses? Playing, scalding, at saka singering. Okay. Okay, next step is evisceration. Okay. Hello, sana all. Alam nyo kasi, siguro makakain ako ng crocodile pag nasa DPWH na ako. Pag nasa DPWH. DPWH. Yun. So, kasi ang daming crocodile dun, kakainin ko yun sila lahat. Alright, so we are now in evisceration. Evisceration naman starts from the time cuts to open the carcass are made and end which the slaughter byproducts are removed from the body cavity. So, sa loob yung body cavity niya, i-remove. The procedure of eviscerating carcasses is the same for all animals regardless of species. During the whole eviscerating procedure, care must be exercised not to make any cut of the internal organs. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys yung kahapon na, di ba nga, pag tinatanggalan mo or nag-eviscerate ka, nagre-removal ka ng internal organs or nire-remove mo yung offals, veterinary term, offals, pag nire-remove mo yan, be sure na hindi mo mabubutas yung internal organs. Kasi pag mag-spoil po yan, it contaminates. Di ba? Yon. So, spillage of the contents of the internal organs contaminates the carcass. Yan. Pag nag-spill yun doon, pag nawasak yun doon na, it will what? Contaminate the carcass. So early spoilage of the meat coming from the carcasses is enhanced. So what do you mean by that? Again, evisceration, removal of internal organs or offal. Must avoid cutting organs to prevent contamination. Improper evisceration can cause what? Spoilage or food safety risk. Pwedeng toxicity, pwedeng ganon. And also, organs may be inspected separately for signs of disease. Kaya nga sineseparate natin yung atay, kidney, liver, tinai, intestines, yan. Naintindihan? Man, nire-remove natin yung stomach, intestine, heart, lungs, liver, yun. Yung iba, sir, nire-remove nila yung brain. Ay, bakit nire-remove yung brain? Okay. So, that is what we call evisceration. Okay? Uy, may tanong pa dito. Okay. Paano pag sa barako na baboy, sir, pag kinatay, mabaho pa din? Magandang tanong. Oh. Magandang tanong yan. Lalo na pag tungkol sa barako na baboy or boar. Kung minsan po kahit maayos ang pagkatay, may amoy pa rin ang karne. So, tinatawag doon ay boar taint. Kahit maayos ang pagkatay. So, ano yun yung boar taint? Ano ba yung boar taint? Hindi galing sa dugo o dumi yun, ha? Ang boar taint. Hindi siya galing sa dugo o dumi. Kundi natural na amoy talaga siya at lasa na lumalabas kapag niluluto ang karne ng barakong baboy. Kasi po, nagmula yun siya sa compound na naiipon sa taba. Ano yung mga ano doon? Androstenone, scatol. Androstenone, ito yung mga compound or mga ano yun siya andro meaning sa male hormone. Sa male hormone na talaga yan siya. Yung sa testosterone ba? Yun, androsterone tawag doon. Pag yung ano naman, yung compound naman nang galing sa digestive system o sa digestion sa bituka, ano yun, kung saan ba yung nakukulong yung dumi, hindi malinis yung pagkakaalaga. Ang tawag doon ay scatol. Ito type ko. Type kita. Kunin mo yung itlog, pre. Paano pagkuha ng itlog? Grabe naman kung magsabi ka ng kuha ng itlog, parang literal na kukunin mo yung itlog. Agad-agad. Okay, so, tanong din niya, wait lang, dun muna sa boar taint muna tayo mag-focus, ha? Scatol naman pag galing sa digestion. Nasaan ka na ba? Oh, yeah, scatol. And then, bakit kasi mabaho? Bakit mabaho ang barako? Bakit mabaho ang barako? Kasi nga, hindi sila nakaka-straight. So, kapag tumanda ang barako at may bayag pa sila, mataas ang hormone or androstenone. Androstenone ang tawag doon sa hormone na yan. So, tapos, marami ding taba pag barako. So, doon po naiipon yung amoy. Tapos, stress bago katayin. Kung nervyoso or pinahirapan ang ngayop, may tendency po yun na mas matindi ang amoy dahil lumalabas kasi ang hormone at nag-iipon yung lactic acid. Kaya mabaho siya. No, paano iwasan? Dapat castration, slaughter age, gano'n. Paano? Let's say, ang question is, paano kung nakatay na yung barako at may amoy pa rin? Anong gagawin? Para medyo mabawas-bawasan natin yung amoy. Again ha, hindi na mawawala ng tuluyan yung hindi mawawala ng tuluyan yung amoy. Pero pwede naman natin bawasan ang amoy. Anong ginagamit natin? Maanghang. Gumagamit tayo ng maanghang at ma-aromatic na luto. Tulad ng adobo, menudo, giniling, longganisa. Yun ang ginagawa natin. Pwede siya ihalo sa ibang karne. Halimbawa, ihalo sa karne ng inahin or biik. Ganon. Or tanggalin ang sobrang taba. Kasi doon po talaga naipon ang amoy. Mm. So, ang sunod na tanong, same din po ba sa goat? Tama. Tama siya. Parehong issue rin ang nangyayari po sa lalaking kambing. Barakong goat ba? Or back? Yung ginimin ba ni mo ma yung barakong goat? Or back? Kasi kung back, meron din pong back taint. May tinatawag din po tayong back taint. Hindi lang po bore taint ha. Hindi lang bore taint. Meron din tayong back taint. B-U-C-K. B-U-C-K ang tawag sa barakong kambing. Back. Naintindihan? Pwede po yun. May batang tanong? Wala na. So, let's go proceed to another slide. So, that is evisceration, ha? Huwag kalimutan ang evisceration ay laging removal of internal organs. Okay, next. Splitting or washing. Okay. Splitting or washing or splitting and washing. Splitting and washing. Splitting is cutting the carcass into two equal parts. The carcass must be splitted at the backbone. But the tail normally goes with the left side. Oh, ito ha. Lumabas ito sa board exam. Tatanungin kayo, pag kinat natin siya into two, di ba nga, ang katawan, buo. Di ba kinakat natin into two? Laging tandaan, saan napupunta ang tail? Sa left side. Left, 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 left. Always remember that. Left, 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 left side. Okay? So, if it is not removed before cutting. So, right after splitting. Right after splitting, pagkatapos may splitting, the carcass is washed very thoroughly and the parts with blood clots are trimmed. Emphasis is given to the point where sticking was made. Nearly always, the point of sticking is bloody. Again, saan nilalagay ang tail? Sa left side. After natin splitting ang carcass, winawash natin very thoroughly. And also parts with blood clots are trimmed. Okay? Again, splitting and washing. Carcass is split into two halves. Two equal parts or two halves. Halves. V and V. Okay. Two halves along the backbone and then wash thoroughly to remove the blood and clots. Focus on the bleeding point, often the mesiest one. And then its washing ensures a clean carcass for inspection at saka chilling. Okay? Next step. The second to the last step is post-mortem inspection. Wala na. Post-mortem inspection, this is inspecting the carcass for final determination whether it is fit for human consumption or not. Several judgments are given at this point. Several judgment ha. Pwedeng condemned, pwedeng pass for refrigeration, pass for rendering, pass for sterilization, or retain. Ilan yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 judgment ang pwedeng gawin ng animal or ng meat inspector. Pwedeng condemn, pwedeng pass for refrigeration, pass for rendering, pass for sterilization, and also retain. Meat found unfit for human consumption is condemned. So, kinokondemn pag unfit for human consumption ang meat. Condemned as a decision can be given to the whole carcass or parts. Parts on carcasses found beyond reasonable doubt as fit for human consumptions are passed, while those parts on carcasses which can be used for human food after heat treatment are passed for sterilization. Dami, no? Sige lang, later on, isa-isahin ko yan. Isa-isahin. Kalma lang, basahin lang muna natin. While those parts on carcass which can be used for human food after heat treatment are passed for sterilization. So, after na heat treatment, pinapas natin for sterilization. So um, meats that must be frozen before these are rendered wholesome are considered passed for refrigeration. So, ibig sabihin, pag ni-frozen mo siya, yon bago mo siya syempre, benta. So, ibig sabihin, pass for refrigeration. Yon. So, and meat that must be heated first before selling are passed for sterilization. So, ibig sabihin, pag frozen, pass for refrigeration. Pag meat that must be heated, heat treatment, pass for sterilization. So, pag frozen, pass for refrigeration. O, di ba magkaiba sila? So, meats that can be processed for animal feed but cannot be used for human food are passed for rendering, while those where final decision cannot still be made are retained. Ibig sabihin po, pag hindi po sila fix sa decision nila, retained po yun. Doubtful sila sa evaluation nila. So this is decision given to doubtful cases. Meat passed for refrigeration must be submitted to a temperature of negative 9.5 degrees Celsius for 10 days. If it is an open container, to 20 days if boxed or tightly packaged. Meat passed for sterilization naman, this one is negative 9.5 degrees Celsius for 10 days. Pag open container. Pero pag tightly, 20 days. Okay? For heat naman, meat pass for sterilization naman, ito, must be heated po siya under 104 degrees Celsius for at least 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. Okay? Before siya i-utilize for human food. Naintindihan? Okay. Isa-isahin natin yung past. Unahin muna natin yung past. Past is past. Past. Oh. Pag past, meaning fit for consumption. Lagay nyo dyan, take note. Pag past, meaning fit for consumption. Pwedeng kainin. Condemn. Ano ang condemn? Pag sinabing condemn, ito yung mga judgment yan ng mga inspector. Condemned meaning unsafe. Must be destroyed. Destroyed. Must be destroyed. Unsafe, hindi pwedeng kainin ng hayop at ng tao, must be destroyed. Retain. Sunod ay retain. Pag sinabing retained, doubtful. Ibig sabihin, kailangan for further evaluation. So, doubtful sila. Doubtful. Ibig sabihin, for further evaluation. Next is pass for refrigeration. Pass for refrigeration. Pag fast for refrigeration, again, must be frozen. Ilan? Negative 9.5 degrees Celsius for ilang araw? 10 days pag open boxes, open container. 20 days pag tightly packaged. Okay? Next naman, pass for sterilization. Ito. Ilan yan? Kailangan nakaheated siya 104 degrees Celsius for ilang minuto? For 30 minutes bago gamitin before use. Okay? Pass for rendering. What do you mean by pass for rendering? Pass for rendering. Pass for rendering, ito yung last na ano nila. Pass for rendering naman, ito yung only for animal feed. Para lang siya sa mga hayop, hindi siya pwedeng kainin sa mga tao. Animal feed. Kayo na bahala mag-intindi. Okay? For animal feed only. Again, why we are doing post-mortem inspection? It prevents unsafe meat from reaching consumers. Naintindihan? Ngayon nyo lang ba ito nalaman? Kung di kayo nag-review sa Agricola. Naintindihan? Some of the review centers, hindi naman ito dinidiscuss. Some of them dinidiscuss nila. But for me, I just want to emphasize everything para walang konsensya sa part ko. That's it. I'll give you everything you need. Charot! Do you have any question? Sa postmortem, magkaiba ang antemortem, no? Pag postmortem, patay na after pagkatay. Ang antemortem before ikatay. Pag meat inspector kayo, you will learn all of these things. How did I get this data? Because I was a lab stock inspector one, and I know these things. And I encountered this in real life scenario. And I have this, charot, mga forms, mga ganyan, meron akong ganyan po. So, I know everything how to fill it out. And also as a inspector, you know how to do it. And you will be oriented naman with those mga, syempre, matagal na sa work. Guys, did you understand? For me, I was oriented by Dr. Martinez. He is a very nice, a very good veterinary. He is always helping me when it comes to animal science. So, ayan, just sharing to you guys the idea that I have. That Dr. Martinez shared to me. Ayun. So, miss ko na si Doc Martinez. Guys, do you have any question about the post-mortem inspection? May tanong ba kayo dito? Kasi kung wala, we can proceed to the next one. May tanong or nagte-take note pa kayo? Wala na. Okay, next. It's already 9:25. Okay, this is the last step, which is shrouding, sealing, and aging. This is the last step, right? That's what I have said kanina. Oh. Ano nga ba yung mga steps ulit? Antemortem, first step, inspection. Second step, stunning, sticking. Number 3. Number 4, cleaning, flaying, scalding, singeing. Under yun ang cleaning. Step 4. Step 5, evisceration. Step 6, splitting and washing. Step 7, post-mortem. And the last steps is the shrouding, chilling, and aging. Okay. Shrouding is wrapping the carcass with cheesecloth. Yan. Na-explain ko na to siya last night. Wrapping the carcass. Bigla kasing lumabas sa isipan ko yun. So, wrapping the carcass with cheesecloth, it is done in all carcasses except those where the skin is not removed. Okay? It is done in all carcasses except po dun sa mga animals na skin is not removed. The cloth is first soaked in lukewarm water and wrapped around the carcass while it is warm. Magbasa pa siya. The shrouding cloth absorbs remaining blood. Ina-absorb niya yung mga remaining blood at the surface of the carcass. It also smoothens external fat covering. It causes fat to appear white and dense. And it prevents excessive shrinkage and oxidation. Why we are doing shrouding? Because it absorbs the blood, smoothens the fat, tsaka it makes it look whiter and denser. Kaya inirarap natin ng cheesecloth. Naintindihan? Yan. Chilling. Chilling is the chilling room where carcasses are laced after slaughter. Laced after slaughter. Should have a temperature of 0 to 4 degree Celsius or 32 to 40 degree Fahrenheit. Beef, cara beef, and horse carcasses should be chilled for 48 hours. While goats, mutton, and other small carcasses must be chilled for 24 hours. What are those? Goats, mutton, pork, poultry, yon. So there should be what? Chill 24 hours. Chilling is necessary to firm up the carcass, allow the rigor mortis to pass, and inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Para po maging malambot, tender yung meat niya. Ay, diniscuss ko na to kagabi. Di ba nga? Yung 48 hours, 24 hours. 6 to 12 hours sa manok, 'di ba? Diniscuss ko na 'to kagabi eh. Tama ba? Tama ba ako? 6 to 12 hours sa manok. Oo, bago siya ano yun. Sa fasting pala yun. Sorry, fasting pala. Fasting pala yun, 6 to 12 hours. Ah, yun. So, fasting pala yun. I mean, this one is for like, after siya katayin, i-chill mo na siya. So, para ma-chill siya, para ma-prevent yung bacteria, ina-allow yung rigor mortis. So, after ng 48 hours, pwede na po siyang katayin, or pwede na pong kainin yung beef, cara beef at saka horse carcasses, kasi nga, tender na po yung meat niya after po ng rigor mortis. Rigor mortis pala, rigor mortis. And then, pag sa goats naman, Newton, swine, poultry, 24 hours after siya ma-chilled. After 24 hours, pwede na po siyang yun, kainin. So again, carcass is stored at 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Ito pa lang hindi ko na-provide doon. 0 to 4 degree Celsius. Or 32 to 40 degree Fahrenheit. Naintindihan? Okay, next. Aging. Aging is holding the meat for 7 to 14 days at 36 degree Fahrenheit to improve tenderness of the different parts is not substantial. What do you mean by this? Aging is storing meat for 7 to 14 days at 36 degree Fahrenheit to improve the tenderness and flavor. Para mag-improve yung tenderness niya and flavor. So that's aging. Okay? Sir, lumabas po sa board exam yung mga tanong regarding smoking, 'di ba? Lumabas 'yan regarding smoking, curing. Ano yung tanong doon? What is the first or traditional, ano ba 'yan? That will be part of your post test. Kasi meron akong tanong yan sa slides eh. Hanapin ko yan. Lumabas din sa board exam. Tinanong doon, alin doon, sa time namin, tinanong doon, alin daw yung kauna-unahan na ginagawa as parang preservation of the meat. Tapos may mga choices doon, smoking, curing, may mga ganun man yun na term, salting, may ganun. So, alin daw doon? Sa unang panahon ba, traditional na ginagawa. So, that will be part of your final coaching. Kasi meron yan sa slide ng final coaching. Yon. Guys, do you have any questions regarding on the steps so that we can proceed already to computations? Wala na? Okay. So, remember this one ha? Or sila mag-remember sa inyo? Okay, next we have fabrication. Fabrication is cutting of carcasses into standard, wholesale, and retail cuts. Proper fabrication leads to the lowering of cutting losses, makes buyer conscious of what they are buying, and giving confidence to both producers and consumers. There are 4 basic principles to follow in cutting carcasses. Thick portions must be separated from the thin ones. The tender parts must be separated from the less tender portions. The high price cuts are separated from less expensive parts. And cuts must be across the muscle fibers. So these are the 4. Thick portions, tender portions, tender parts, high price cuts, and also the muscle fibers cuts. Yun. Best results in terms of income and quality of the cuts produced are obtained if the above principles are followed. What are those principles? This one will also part of your postes. Thick portions, tender parts, high price cuts, at saka muscle fibers cuts. Yon. There are the 4 basic principles to follow in cutting carcasses. Okay? So now, here is the expression of animal yield. We have the dressing percent. This is how you're going to get the dressing percentage. Carcass weight divided by slaughter weight times 100 because we're looking for percentage. is equals to obtain after 24 to 48 hours chilling without the head and internal organs. So tanggalin yung head, walang internal organs. That's how you're going to get the dressing percentage. Okay? Next is the lean fat bone yield. Component, what are those component? Those are internal organs. And then divided by live weight times 100. Boneless recovery, boneless carcass, divided by live weight times 100. So para malaman natin yung ilan yung percentage niya. Now, as what you can see here, these are standard in the table. So what you're going to do, you're going to put this one on the visual aids. Kasi for you to see it kung ano yung mga standard na yan. So now, I am going to answer the first problem, sample problem. And then the next problem should be kayo na. Naintindihan? Do you guys agree? Sige nga, kung agree kayo. Pagkatapos ko sagutin yung isang sample problem, kayo na ang sunod. Naintindihan? Gets ba ninyo? Are we clear? Hala, natutulog na ata yan sila. Are you guys sleeping na ba? Okay, sige. Okay, let's start first with the first problem. Okay. A farmer is planning to sell a batch of 200 goats. So the first problem ko is goats. So nagsisell a batch of 200 goats. Each goat weighs 45 kilogram before slaughter. After the slaughtering and chilling process, the carcass weight of each goat is 43% of its live weight. First question, what is the total carcass weight of all 200 goats? Second question, calculate the total lean yield for all the goats knowing the lean yield percentage is 27%. Number 3, determine the total bone yield for the batch of goats given that the bone yield percentage is 9%. Okay, let me go ahead and then compute it for you guys. First question is, what is the total carcass weight of all 200 goats? So to get the carcass weight, para makuha natin yung carcass weight, that's equals to live weight times the dressing percentage. Okay? That's how we're going to get it. Kaso wala siya dun sa formulation, right? Alam niyo na dapat mag-charot. Alam niyo na kung paano siya kinukuha. Okay? Kasi hindi naman percentage. Ang kukunin naman natin is yung carcass weight. So, kailangan natin yung live weight tsaka yung dressing percentage niya. Now, carcass weight of each goat, we have carcass weight 45 kilograms before slaughter. Each goat, di ba? 45 kilograms. Ita-times natin siya sa 43%. 43% kasi yung carcass weight niya. So, times natin sa 43%. So, what will be the total? Wait lang. Calculate the calculator. Saan ang calculator dito? Kunin natin. So, we have 45 times 43%. So, that is 0.43. That will give you 19.35. Okay? That will be the carcass weight. 19.35 kilogram per goat. Per goat ito. Okay. This is number 1. The correct answer here is 19.35 kilogram per weight. Per goat, sorry. Next. Per goat pa lang yan ha. Hindi pa siya yung tong answer. Kasi ang tanong dito, of all 200 goats. So what are you going to do? Times nyo lang 200. Times 200. So times 200, that will give you 1935 times 200, that will give you 3,870. Meaning, meron kang, ito yung tamang sagot, 3,870 kilograms. So, ito yung tamang sagot sa number 1. Total carcass weight for 200 goats is 3,870 kilograms because each goat merong 19.35 kilograms. So, ilang goats meron? 200 times lang natin yun and that will give you 3,870 kilograms. Okay? Next question. Calculate the total lean yield for all the goats, knowing that the lean yield percentage is 27%. Okay. So, the solution is lean yield for all goats. So, we have lean yield per goat, okay, is equals to live weight times lean, okay, live weight to a live weight times lean yield percentage. Okay? Kasi nga, ang tanong dito, calculate the total lean yield for all the goats knowing that the lean yield percentage is 27%. Okay. Now, to get the lean yield per goat is equals to 45 kilogram. Ano ang lean weight niya? Live weight niya, 45 kilogram. Saan nakuha ang 45 kilogram? Here. 45 kilogram before slaughter. Live weight ha, before slaughter yun. Times yung lean yield percentage niya, that is 27%. Okay, ito. 27%. Ito yung lean yield percentage niya, 27%. Times lang natin siya sa 27%. And that will give you, check natin, 45 times 27.27, 12.15 kilogram. Tama ba? Yeah, kilogram per goat. So, kilogram per goat. So, next is total lean yield for 200 goats. Kasi yung tanong dito is for 200, all goats man. So, 200 goats yung tinatanong dyan. So, ita-times lang natin. 15 kilogram times 200 and that will give you 2,430 kilogram. So, this is the answer for number 2. 2,430 kilogram. Okay. Number 3, determine the total bone yield for the batch of goats, given that the bone yield percentage is 9%. Okay. So, number 3, question, bone yield for all goats. Okay. So, bone yield per goat is equals to live weight times bone yield percentage. So, kunin natin yung live weight. Live weight is 45 kilograms, right? Ilang percentage yung binigay doon sa number 3? 9%. 9% na BYP. So, 9%. So, get natin yan. Wait lang, compute natin. 45 times 0.09, that will give you 4.05 kilogram per goat. Per goat yan. Okay? So, the total bone yield, kasi tinatanong kasi sa number 3 is total bone yield for the batch of goats. So, 200 sila. Times natin 200. 4.05 times 200. So, that will give you, this one is 810 kilogram. So, the correct answer for number 3 is 810 kilogram. So, answer this one is 810 kilogram. Okay. So, that's it. That's where you're going to answer it. Nagets ninyo? Kaya? Madali lang, di ba? Kaya ninyo? Kasi baka lalabas sa board exam yan eh. Kasi, lumabas yan siya noong 2023. Ano siya? Sunod-sunod na tanong. Okay, multiple choices nga lang yung sagot. Pero kailangan tama talaga yung computation. Okay, now let's try nyo. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to answer the problem. Okay? Start na natin ngayon. Kasi magte-10 na. Number 2, a livestock processing plant receives 150 swine. So, swine naman ito for processing. The live weight of each swine is 120 kilograms and the dressing percentage of swine is 69%. Oh, madali lang to. Sige, bigyan ko kayo ng 5 minutes. Ano man yan, mime? Pwede nyo ilagay yung sagot ninyo dyan, no? Sa in call messages para makita ko kung sino talaga yung sumasagot. Anong sagot nyo sa 1, 2, 3, 4? Go lang, sagot lang kayo. Kailangan kita ngayon at kailangan kong malaman na ikaw lamang ang tunay kong minamahal. Ang tangi kong hiling ay makapiling ka lagi. What? Kailangan kita ngayon at kailanman. Kailangan kong malaman na ikaw lamang ang tunay ko minamahal. Ang tangi kong hiling ay makapiling ka lagi. Nakasagot na kayo? What's your answer now? Lagay nyo sa sa in-call messages para makita ko. Guys, magla-live tayo tomorrow sa YouTube, ha? Kasi hindi na ako nakapag-live sa YouTube. Ano ang discussion natin tomorrow, oh? Milk ba? Milk ata. Tingnan ko nga. Para meron din daw ano si Sir, oh. Ano ba yun, oh? Nakalimutan ko na yung term. Sana yan? Slaughtering. Nais kong malaman na. Opo, sagot na kayo. Ilagay niyo po yung sagot dito sa ano, oh. Sa in-call messages. Sagot na agad, wag na yung sa ano, oh. Function resolved. Yung ano na, sagot na. Ay, meet na pala tayo tomorrow. Oh, ang dami natin discussion pala bukas. Lagay nyo number 1, number 2. Meet discussion na pala tayo tomorrow, guys. So, ito na lang ang ano natin tomorrow. Oh. Ila-live sa YouTube. Ang dami na ito. Relationship of physical structure. At mga crude protein. Ay, marami. Meron tong computation tomorrow, ha? Kasi lumabas ito sa board exam last year. Etong ano, meet computation. Last year, lumabas sa board exam. Meat computation. So, tapos different types of meats. May mga red meat tayo, mga ganon. Purple color, ano kulay ng meat ng pork, ng beef, di ba? Huwag niya kung ano-anohin dyan. Alam ko yan. Huwag kayo tatamad-tamad sa akin. Hindi nga tinamad si Sir maghanap. Ay, very good. Grabe ang sagot, oh. Go, Mark! For the top na yan, girl. For the top. For the top lock. Ali tap. Go, Mark. Kaya mo yan, girl. Ang milk, mahaba din naman natin discussion. Hopefully, matapos natin. So, ang ano natin is, ang wala pa natin na-discuss, meat, milk, egg, ano pa ba? Tapos ano na, proper handling sa processing of meat, milk, and egg. Tapos, proper handling. Tapos, ano pa ba? Dito na lang pala ako. Papasok yung mga kulay-kulay ng ng meat sa basic principles. Marketing. Tapos marketing na din tayo. Yay! Marketing ng livestock and livestock products. Matatapos na natin to within this week. Pag kailangan ko ng Saturday, magkaklase tayo ng Saturday. Hala, nag-aaway sila, wala ka unit. Chada. Alright, now let's answer it. Okay, I'm going to answer this one and then check if you guys get the correct answer. Ano to siya, swine? Okay. So the first, 4 ang tanong dito, no? Kanina 3 lang yan. Okay, first. What is the total carcass weight of all 150 swine? Okay, first question, tinanong, ano yung total carcass weight? So, tulad natin, carcass weight is equals to live weight times dressing percentage. So, that will give you CW 120 kilogram times 69%. And that will give you equals to ilan yan? 82. 82.8 kilogram per swine. So, ang tanong kasi is total. So, kukunin natin yung total carcass weight. That will give you 82.8 kilogram times natin sa 150 na total swine. And that will give you 12,420 kilogram. Tama kayo? This is the correct answer. Tingnan natin. Yay! Tama sila. So, naintindihan nila ako. Number 2, question. Lean yield for all swine. So lean yield per swine is equals to live weight times lean yield percentage. So lean yield per swine is equals to um 120, tama no? 120 kilogram times 34% is equals to 40.8 kilogram. So, ang tanong kasi is total lean yield for 150 swine. So, total lean yield per swine, for total swine pala to, total swine, sorry. Total swine yan. So, that will give you 40.8, tama ba? Yeah, 40.8 kilogram times 150. And that will give you 6,120 kilogram. Tama kayo? Ay, correct. Ang galing. Ang galing ni baby. Ang galing ni baby. Ang galing-galing. Ganon. Alright. Number 3. Number 3. Okay. Fat yield for all swine. So, fat yield per swine is equals to live weight times fat yield percentage. So, this one, fat yield, ano bang live weight niya? 120 kilograms. 120 kilograms times natin yung fat yield percentage niya is 4%. So, that is 4.8 kilogram per swine. Okay. Tapos total kasi yung tanong, no? Total fat yield for 150 swine. Tapos sa total na. So, 150 times 4.8 kilogram. So, that will give you 720 kilogram. Tama kayo? Da Ay, galing! Galing ni baby. Ang galing ni baby. Ang galing-galing. Yun, number 4. Number 4, boneless yield for all swine. Boneless yield per swine is equals to live weight times boneless yield per swine. Boneless yield percentage pala, sorry. So, ano yung live weight niya? 120 kilograms times 60%. So, that will give you 72 kilograms per swine. So, ang tanong kasi is total boneless yield ng swine. And that will give you 150 times 72 kilograms. And that will give you 10,800 kilogram. Who got the correct answer? Number 4. Hoy, mga magagaling talaga. Sige nga na mag-react. Sino mag-react dyan? Sino nakakuha ng perfect? 4. Na mag-react kayo. Meron. Sana all. Galing-galing. Galing ni baby. Ang galing ni baby. Okay. Isa pa. Isa pa. Walang uwian to. Walang tulugan. Isa pa. Okay. Lagay ang answer doon sa in-call messages para makasagot agad tayo. Okay. Next. Broiler na naman. A poultry farm processes 500 broilers for sale. The live weight of each broiler is 2.5 kilogram. The dressing percentage for broilers is 70%. Go! Okay, sagutin na natin. Char. Okay, go. Bigyan ko kayo ng time. Sige na, kaya nyo yan. Kaya mag-eme-eme. I'll never get in the rain, so let it flow. Ay, my God, ang Form 137. Na, 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 na. You lift my feet off the ground, spin me around. You make me crazier, crazier, crazier. Pangit ko talaga kumanta. Ay! Charge natin. Kay palobat na ang laptop. Basahin nyo talaga ha, kasi sa board exam kasi, ang tinatanong all. Tapos ang sinagot nyo lang individual na. Dapat basahin mabuti. Pak! Go, Mark! Para sa future ng mga anak natin yan, be. Sa future ng baby natin. Eme. Mahal na kita, Mark. I'll never get in the rain, so let it flow. Ganyan lang guys ha. Lumabas din ito sa board exam noong 2023. So sa 2024, ang lumabas puro meat. Puro meat din yun. Tinatanong yung fat content, yung ganun. Yung crude protein. So yun. Tapos sasabihin na, sir, hindi naman yun na-discuss mo. Suntukin ko kayo. Hindi ko na-discuss. Mainis talaga ako niyan. Hindi ko na-discuss daw. Ulitin mo yung video na recording. Kainis. Dapat kasi alam na alam yun eh. Gabi, 1 minute lang si Mark, si Sona. Bilis mo naman be. Gagawa ako ng sample. Ilalagay ko to sa post-test ninyo ha. Huwag niyo ako ma-eme-eme pa, hindi ko kayo masontok sa heart. Para hindi ko putulin ang jugular veins ninyo and carotid artery. Ne! Huwag kayo. Makinig kayo lagi kay sir. Kasi pag hindi kayo makinig, bahala kayo sa buhay nyo. Char. Kung makabahala sa buhay, parang ano. Well, ano ba ngayon update sa buhay ko ngayon? Still relapsing. Relapsing. Gano'n. Ano ba? Relapse. Gano'n. Ano guys, I'm so busy making your UFC manual kasi re-release na siya by next month. Yung sa mga iba na naghahabol sa craft science and soil science, huwag niyo muna intindihin yun. Intindihin niyo muna yung ngayon, yung animal science. Kasi dadaanan naman natin yan sa final coaching. So, madami na naman tayong gagawin for final coaching. Guys, wala na tayong pure classes sa final coaching. Ang mangyayari is, puro lang tayo exam. Tapos, puro rationalize, sir, puro explain sa inyo bakit ganun, bakit ganito. Yun, ganun na ang magiging. Tapos, magbibigay ako sa inyo ng mga terms na kailangan nyo malaman, ganun. Those lang naman yun. Baka nakalimutan nyo lang. Malilimutin pa naman kayo. Char! Malilimutin kayo. Oh my gosh! Love you, Christopher. Ano ko yan eh? Bebe ko yan eh. Ay, recorded pa lang klase, sorry. Recorded pala. Alright, so let's answer number 2. Okay, this is broiler. Number 3 na pala to, no? Kasi sa akin kanina, ano ba yung sa akin kanina? Goat. Tapos, kanina sa inyo din, swine. Ngayon naman ay poultry. Okay. Okay, so first question, what is the total carcass weight of all 500 broilers? Okay, number 1. Okay, first question is the carcass weight of each broiler. So we have carcass weight is equals to live weight times dressing percentage. Okay. So this one is equals to um live weight is 2.5 kilogram times 70%, and that will give you 1.7 kilogram per broiler, And then the question is the total carcass weight. So 500 kasi ang total na broiler. Times lang natin sa 1.75 na kilogram. And that will give you 875 kilograms. 875 kilograms. So the correct answer for number 1 is 875. Number 2, tignan natin. Tsaka ako na mag-check. Wait lang. Number 2 muna. Fat yield per broiler. Per broiler. Okay, so that is live weight times fat yield percentage. So that will give you 2.5 kilogram times 9%. Okay, so that will give you 0.225 kilogram. It's 1 kilogram per broiler. And then we have total fat yield, and that for 500 broilers. So 500 broilers times 0.225 kilogram, and that will give you 112.5 kilogram. Check natin. Sino nakakuha ng tamang sagot? Let's see. Hoy, very good, very good. Number 2, 112 point. Very good. Ang galing ni baby. Ang galing ni baby. Ang galing ni baby. Yun. Uy, ang galing-galing. Uy, kanino yan, oh? Number 2, 1.125. Mali ang sagot, Christopher. Christopher, mali ang sagot mo sa number 2. 112.5. Paano ka umabot sa 1.125? Baliktad ya ba? Sinabihan lang kita ng baby na baliktad na agad ang utak mo. Oo. Baby, I'll never gone in the rain. Nabaliktad na. Dapat 112.5. Bakit 1 point? Puntahan talaga kita sa bahay nyo. Diyan lang ba yung bahay nyo sa unahan? Oh. Sa unahan lang ng bahay namin. Saan kong bahay ninyo? Sige ka. Samahan kita kay mama. Mama! Isis! Type mo lang ako eh. Baliktad-baliktad ka pa. Miss mo lang ako. Okay. Next. Bone yield. Bone yield per broiler is equals to live weight times bone yield percentage is equals to 2.5 kilogram times 15%, and that will give you 0.375 kilogram per broiler. Next, all man ang hanapin, total bone yield ng 500 broilers. So 500 times 0.375. Oy, nagkamali. 375. So that will give you total of 187.5 kilograms. Okay, for number 3. Number 4, boneless yield for all broilers. So boneless yield per broiler is equals to live weight times boneless yield percentage. Then 2.5 kilogram times 44% na boneless yield percentage. And that will give you 1.1 kilogram per broiler. So total boneless yield is equals to 500 times 1.1 kilogram, and that will give you 550 kilograms. Sino nakakuha ng tamang sagot? Oy! Ang galing! Uy, ang galing naman talaga niya. Mag-take na kayo ng board exam, uy! Na-stress na ako sa inyo. Mag-take na kayo ng board exam, ha? Oo. Ready na kayo? Oo. Wala nang eme-eme? Ready na. Oh, perfect pala sila lahat, oh. Very good. Okay, last problem. Last sample problem for Katel. Number 5. Number 4 nata to. Number 4. Last for Katel. Hindi ka talaga nag-invite sa akin. Ano, Christopher. Miss Nakita. Hee! Diyan ya, lechon. Yan prepare to lechon. Lechon. Guys, pag makuha na kanyo yung lisensya ninyo, mag-o-taking kayo, available lang po si Sir anytime mag-travel. Anytime mag-travel. Pahinga muna si Sir. By the way, next year po, parang wala na ata review ang Agricola. Oo, kasi magre-rest muna si Sir saglit. Para hindi ko lang alam kung meron pa, parang wala naman yun. Kasi wala talaga, tahimik talaga yung school. As of now. Wala akong hindi ko alam ano nangyayari sa buong mundo. Charot. Ay, nako. Andito si Hamima. Hamima. Meron ako mga chinatan, hindi pa nag-reply sa akin. Ay, post ko na lang pala sa sa page na. Tomorrow, we'll have our Kinemerut live stream sa YouTube. We will send you. Oy, marami na pala akong viewers doon sa genetics na pinost ko. Oo. Sana marami kayo natutunan kahit medyo may tililing yung ninyo. Tililing. May tililing daw si Sir. Free YT live stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. Ano na ba tayo? Meet para yun, meet. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow and always a day. Away. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow and always a day. Away. Love you, Topper. Mwah, chup chup. Si Topper ang nawawala kong Bebe Labs. Christopher! Baby. Guys, i-share niyo yung ko sa sa page. Share niyo po. Highlight ko kayo. Para sa mga friends ninyo, sa mga GC, ganon. I-encourage sila na magsama sa atin ng final coaching. Please help me. Alright, are you done? Okay na, let's go ahead and answer this one because it's already 10:14 p.m. 10:14 na pala. Magka-12 na. Mag-11 na. Okay, so um hmm. Okay. Okay, let's start with nahirapan ba kayo? Mahirap ba? Okay. Natutulog na ata yung iba eh. Alright, so number one. Number one. Ang question is carcass weight of each cattle. So carcass weight is equals to live weight times dressing percentage. And this one will give you 500 kilogram times 48%. And this one will give you 240 kilograms per cattle. Okay. And then we have total carcass weight is equals to 1,000 kasi 1,000 naman kasi yung total talaga. 1,000 na cattle times natin is 240 kilogram. And that will give you 240,000 kilograms. Who got the correct answer? Correct. Very good. Number 2. Okay, mali yun doon si Anna Rowan. O, mali. Individual yan. Total yung tinatanong. Number 2, lean yield for all cattle. Lean yield per cattle. It's equals to live weight times lean yield percentage is equals to 500 kilogram times, kilogram yan ha, times 34%. And that will give you a 170 kilogram per cattle. So, since total lean yield naman ang kailangan, so we need to get 1,000 cattle times natin sa 170 kilogram and that will give you 170,000 kilogram. We got the correct answer. Very good. Okay. Perfect naman yan. Okay, next. Number 3. Number 3, fat yield per cattle is equals to live weight times fat yield percentage. So, live weight is 500 kilogram times natin 4% and that will give you 20 kilogram per cattle. Okay. Since total naman yung hanap, fat yield, and that will give you 1,000 cattle times 20 kilogram. The correct answer is 20,000 kilogram. Got the correct answer for number 3. Oy, perfect. Sana all. Number 4. Bone yield per cattle is equals to live weight times bone yield percentage is equals to 500 kilogram times 9% is equals to 45 kilogram per cattle. So since total yung hanap, total bone yield is equals to 1,000 times 45 kilogram and that will give you 45,000 kilogram. Who got the correct answer? Hello, magaling talaga sila. Charot lang. Ayun, so, guys, ayan. So, since lahat naman kayo ay tama ang sagot, sige, lahat na lang kayo ay tama, kahit hindi naman kayo babae yung iba. Wala kayong magawa. Pag ang babae, lahat tama kahit mali. So, ayun guys, this conclude our discussion for tonight. I'm so very happy. Guys, I hope that you learned a lot tonight. Marami ba kayo natutunan? Especially the processing, the basic principles, and also the computations. Imagine. Charat, imagine that will come out sa board exam. Oh my gosh. You were gonna perfect the exam. Charat. Yes, it's gonna be more interesting every night. Pagpapalapit ng papalapit ng exam, mas interesting ang klase natin. Char! Charot lang. So, ayun. Everyone, thank you very much, everyone, for being with me until the end of our presentation. Again, kamsahamnida. Anyong hegemosoy, everyone. Anyong hachara. Chara seo to all who answered the computations and the problem. Again, if you do not know yet how to compute this one, if you do not understand what I'm saying here, rewind. Charot. Rewatch the video. Again, this one will be sent. The link will be sent tomorrow morning because it's heavy, by the way. So ilang oras din tayo. Again, thank you very much, everyone, and bye-bye for tomorrow. We have our live stream, and please share the link. I mean, share the post of our Agricola page. And bye-bye for now. Love you all. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Sleep well.